Hello there, Internet. Version 2 here with Rara. Is that how that... I'm assuming that's not the word for Splatoon in this language. Whatever. Another point is, it's off the hook time. It has been a long ass time since I played this game. Blame Odyssey coming out, because I was playing a lot of Odyssey instead of playing this. And so there's a lot, this is a big video in terms of a lot of different updates. One of the updates being a Splatfest has been announced, which the last time that I did a video for this, I think, was this last Splatfest, which shows you, I mean, like, the game's getting to the point where it's been out for a while, there's other games coming out. I'm not going to, like, sink as much time into this as I did before, obviously, but also, I've just been playing a lot of Mario Odyssey, so... And I've honestly been deliberately putting off playing this until one of the new maps, which is one of the new updates, is available in the rotation in the time that I can record. Because, fuck, that's taken a while, actually, to happen. What the theme is science fiction versus fantasy. Sci-fi or fantasy? Are we talking movies? Movies, books, games, breakfast cereals? I gotta go with Did you say breakfast cereals? No, I'm all about those Choco Cyborg Flakes. Seriously, Pearl? Everyone knows Frosted Wyvern Puffs are the best. Oh, that does sound pretty cool. Sci-fi is boring. I'd rather imagine worlds full of magic and mythical beasts. Who wouldn't want to hang out with a dragon? There are dragons in sci-fi too, you know. Space dragons! Have you not played insert a bunch of games that I can say that is massive spoilers if I say so? Fantasies for babies, it's a bunch of make-believe fairy tales. Sci-fi, on the other hand, is a thinking squids genre. Oh god, is Pearl a Rick and Morty fan? Fuck. It's about exploring the potential of our universe based on actual science. Space dragons are actual science. Looks like we're out of time. Go pick a side in the square. Hey, I love updates. A new weapon's been added. Custom jet squelcher. Ink brush Navu. There's other ones. I guess they're too far back for the update to still say it for me. Oh, I actually get to record one of these! A patch! This is a game changer, yo! Well, yeah, they literally made changes to the game, so... I haven't recorded one of those yet. I love that. Go check out the official site for details. I'm gonna go look right away and find out how much the ball has been nerfed again. Probably. Alright, and to the other important thing, which we didn't get the update thing for, Blackbelly Skate Park! It's back! Stage is perfect scenario, so you can run into your opponents often. Get ready, you might want to pick one that's good for head-on combat. So hey! A new stage! Well, I mean, it's a stage from the first game. This is where my dad taught me to ride a bike, and yet you still use training wheels. Raina, so cold, jeez. Also, in Snapper Canal, it doesn't seem safe. There's a bunch of water there if you fall off. Jellies, you can climb the rock as fast as I can. What's with that? Those jellyfish do probably have a couple of inches on you. I've also got multiple legs to climb with. And for people who are squids, a lot of your tentacles aren't actually useful in terms of using them for anything. They're fashionable, but you don't use them for anything. Or I've got 73,000 money, so I've got a bunch of money for Agent 5 is gonna call it. You mean Cool Egg? You mean Cool Egg. Team Fantasy with Final Fantasy and Zelda. Yep, we've got a little wavy person. Join the SF side. Is that meant to be a Star Wars thing? I can't tell from this distance. Alright, we've got, wow. Trevor, you're still going. Impressive. That is pretty good artwork though. Alright. Oh man. I think I'm gonna have to not pick science purely in protest of both Rick and Morty and its fanbase. Magic, monsters, and more. Team Fantasy. Team Sci-Fi. Team Sci-Fi. Fantasy. That's meant to be a character, but I can't tell of what. I can't read that language, I'm sorry. Dragon! Magic Dragon! Dark Souls prepared to Splat Edition. Are we gonna get a bunch of people asking people are praising the sun in this? Okay. Extra thick? You get a yeah on that one. I don't know how if I can your name as well, but alright, Team Space Squid. Space, wanna go to space. So this is a legitimately tough decision for me. Look at see, there's other new weapons too. I'm not gonna use like any of the new ones, but hey. Alright, so we've got the custom Jet Scorcher. Jet Scorcher made with the custom parts. It's got burst bombs, it's got Stingray. And we've got the range blaster. Delays oxidation of ink, which explodes it longer, and it does stuff. And we've got an ink storm. And a gold dynamo roller, because I'm so good with the normal dynamo roller. And then we've got the ink brush Navu. No, now we've got the ink brush Navu. And it has ink mines and ballers, which is actually a way better set that I would personally prefer. Although that being said, Ink Mines don't seem as powerful. No, not that one. This is the first new one out of all these, so we're gonna use that first. The thing is, it's so big. All right, just buy all the weapon. No, I didn't mean to equip. Fuck. Not equipping that, and buy and equip them all. Waste all my money, and eventually I'll buy the A-liters. Eventually. I got up to 73,000 last time I was playing. I guess that might have been the Splatfest and I wasn't spending money during it, so that's fair. Alright, okay. The actual decision between sci-fi and fantasy. Okay, I'm just trying to think. I'm trying to think. Because I feel like most of the stuff that I enjoy is sci-fi, but it's not like... It's not like super duper sci-fi, like it's just like on that side. Like, Wonderful 101 is set in the future, and it's like, all the powers in that game are based on science, but it's not like really a sci-fi game. It's like a Super Sentai thing, so it's like superheroes, but that Fallout is depressing sci-fi. This game is depressing sci-fi now that I think about it. Like, I'm just trying to think, out of all the games that I'd say movies, but I don't watch movies. And my favorite movie is The Martian, so science. Like, out of all the games that I've played, the only ones that I've played that really fall under the realms of fantasy are, like, the Souls games, which I've really only played 3, and Bloodborne. Fable, which I don't like Fable 1 or 3, but I really like 2. I guess Bayonetta and Devil May Cry would come under fantasy, actually. Though those would definitely, yeah, that would definitely be fantasy, both of those. Just fantasy with guns. But like, if I go through the games that are like science fiction, then we've got Fallout, we've got Doom, we've got Dead Space, we've got Batman, technically, because there's no fucking way any of that shit's real. Oh, Vanquish. Vanquish is super science fiction. I don't particularly care about either of these. Like, part of me legitimately wants to say I want to pick this because I don't want to be associated with the Rick and Morty fans. Like, I'm not even kidding when I say that, because fuck Rick and Morty fans. But fuck Tolkien nerds. I think I have to go for science fiction. Like, I like dragons and swords and stuff, but most of the stuff that, like, more of the stuff that I enjoy is more about science. And also, most fantasy stories end up being super racist. And okay, so that distinction there, I haven't played much Metroid, so it's not really fair. Yeah, I guess Zelda. Yeah, Zelda's fantasy. But yeah, fantasy stories are often super racist, where science fiction stories are sometimes racist, yeah, sure. But there's also the one, like, science fiction stories where it's just like, let's look to the future when we stop being dumb fucks with race. Like Star Trek. Actually, honestly, Star Trek alone should sell it for me, because I love Next Generation and I love Deep Space Nine. And I will be the first to admit that I love Star Trek Next Generation and I love Star Trek Deep Space Nine. I do love those shows. They have a lot of bad episodes, and you can totally make the case that they have more bad episodes than good episodes. I'm completely fine with admitting that. I'm fine with admitting that both Next Generation and DS9 were made in a time frame where they had to pump out like 20-odd episodes a season, and they're Star Trek episodes, so they're long episodes too. And then they both went for 7 seasons, and at that point, ideas are gonna get like a bit tired, or you're gonna have to come up with just weird plot lines and story shit. That is pretty far. This thing is slow as shit, but it's far. Oh yeah, beer. Sorry. Anyway, Black Mill Skate Park. It's the one set in Australia, I believe. Is this the Australia one? There's one in the first game that's in Australia, and I think it's Black Mill Skate Park, but I don't remember. Oh, if it's set in Australia, even better, because we've got Inflatality up there. Go play slash buy Inflatality. Inflatality's awesome. Inflatality's awesome. Go buy it and play it. I'm not just saying that because I know the people who make it. Inflatality's legitimately awesome. I know them because I saw Inflatality and I saw that it was awesome, and then I went and played it, and now I know them. Was this the one that was in Australia? I don't remember now. Because I know there was a map in the first game that was explicitly in Australia, and I can't remember if it was this one or not. It might have been one of the other ones. So I'm looking at the buildings around here, and is that paint? Yeah, it is paintable because no one had. Oh, Jesus. Jesus. Ow, 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 ow. I'm just trying this out so I can say I did. It does shoot pretty far, and it, like, I did kill someone with it pretty quickly, so I've got that going at least, but I feel like if I was ever going to use this weapon properly, it would be in ranked. Fuck you! So, the range on this is actually helping, because it means I can be less involved in fights and actually, like, still do shit. Like, so my problem with, like, the normal blaster and stuff is getting up close enough to people to kill them means if I miss, I'm dead, because they're right there. Where with this, I can actually stand away a bit, and if I miss my shots, I can run away. Like there, I can try doing that. But then Bajoran, Bajoran! Like Star Trek! Oh, can I just turn this episode into a Star Trek Gears Fest? How are you not dead yet? Jesus. Okay, 2 indirect hits of this still doesn't kill. Damn it. I'm sorry to my team, but I am losing this for us. Like, you will lose it, it's explicitly because I'm trying to make a video, as opposed to trying to win. Fuck. It's fine, kind of. My job is to kill people, and I'm not doing it, so... Hey, they said choose a weapon that's good for narrow encounters. Kind of what I'm doing. Kind of. Please die. Damn it, I'm really trying to hit this person. There we go. That hurt. The dying and the coughing. Okay, hurt is the wrong word because obviously. But I'm at a point now where, because of, you know, fucked up pain tolerance and everything, I say hurt for stuff feeling uncomfortable instead of it actually hurting. And we super lost. Okay, yeah. I did better with this weapon than I have with almost any other blaster except for the Clash Blaster. So... But if I was ever going to use it, I'd focus on using it in ranked. I wouldn't use it in Surf. Alright, to the Jet Scorcher. Let's just use all the new weapons that I bought. And see how poorly I do with all of them. Yay! We'll give one go of the Dynamo Roller. We'll give one go of it. And it will be terrible, because I'm really bad at the Dynamo Roller. And it's also the weapon that I'm worst at fighting against. Because, yay. Alright, we got Dip Frisk, yep. We got Linda, we got Stephine, we got Nathan, we got Rachel Murray, and we got me. Oh yeah, I think the Japanese Splatfest is going on at the moment. I think. I can't remember what it was. It was yes, I like this, or and versus no, I don't like it. But I can't remember what it was for. Inflatality's up there, yay! So I'm looking at this now, and this looks more like California. Like, with the buildings and the roads, but I don't know that. There was something in the first game that was in Sydney. I think, like, I think it was not even just, I think it was specifically Sydney, because I think it was either the Harbour Bridge or the Opera House was in the background. Maybe Centrepoint Tower. Something was there. But maybe Blackbelly Skate Park has since moved. I wouldn't blame the game if Blackbelly Skate Park moved from Sydney. Most people I know who live in Sydney want to move from Sydney, so not blaming the game if they decided to make the move as well. Can't you just do what all the other people who are moving from Sydney do and move to Melbourne instead? Why don't you just do that? Oh man. If I had $1 for every single, like, early to mid to late 20s year old person I knew who lived in Sydney, whose plan was, I want to move to Melbourne instead. If I had $1 for every single one of those people, I'd have $1 for every friend that I have who lives in Sydney. Because most of my friends are either people who live in Sydney who want to move to Melbourne, or people who live in Melbourne who used to live somewhere that wasn't Melbourne. Melbourne is Melbourne is by far, like, the more progressive, left-wing leaning city in the country. Like, by a long shot. It's, like, a much more progressive place. With the whole bullshit about like, the postal vote that we've had on gay marriage, where let's ask everyone in the country if they agree with gay marriage, because that will go really well. It hasn't. With that, like, the city of Melbourne, like, the council of it, actually put up posters telling people to vote yes, don't be a cunt. I mean, it was in nicer language than that, but that's the language that I say it with. Would you die? They ran it. Die! God damn it, really, Puffin? Ah! You little butt. I need weapons that just fire super fast. Even this has a good range and a decent rate of fire, but it doesn't fire extremely rapidly, so I can't do it. Fuck me. God damn it. All the other traits of weapon don't affect me as much as rate of fire. Fuck! Like, rate of fire is just the one thing that I need. I need a high rate of fire, or I can't use the weapon well. Like, it's that. Look. How have you not dip frisk? Really? This is your role here. You're just gonna camp. Wow, you're a piece of shit, dip frisk. How's the game even fun for you? Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck all y'all. Yeah, Melbourne's not a shithole is pretty much the thing here. You speak to people who live in Sydney and most people can confirm Sydney's a fucking dump. So yeah, if this map doesn't take place in Sydney anymore, don't blame the game. I'm doing really poorly today. It's almost like I haven't played this game for close to a month. Also, like, I'm ranting about other things, so I'm hardly paying attention. And also, like, I'm using weapons that I'm not good with. So, if it was just I like weapons that, like, hit from a distance and hit far, I should like the Jet Scorcher. But I'm gonna use the dynamite first. And not break the game while we're doing it. Also, I should probably change my shoes just to something, so I can get things up for it. Like, the experience is just working towards something new. As I now spend all the money, instead of scrubbing my gear, on buying weapons that I'm not gonna use. Why do I insist on buying every weapon? I don't understand why. I don't use most of them. Why do I make sure I own all of them? Cucklord! Oh, I better be on Cucklord's team. Oh, come on, Cucklord, let's do this together. Well, I mean, that's... You don't do it together, that's the whole... You know what? I'm not gonna get into this right now. Like you, because you're the Cucklord. Hey! Oh, man. One of my favorite things on the internet is, like, as someone who who isn't right-wing, I'd say as someone who's left-wing, but as someone who just isn't right-wing, and, Cucklord's not here anymore, damn. But, also, let's continue talking about it. As someone who isn't super right-wing, I've obviously been called a cuck online before, because right-wing people are not interesting with their insults in any capacity. It's almost like conservative thought values intentionally and lead to a lower sense of humor because punching down for sense of humor isn't funny. What? Never. This is just basically my way of saying if you're right wing, you're probably not going to enjoy watching me. But back to my original point about cucks is I've been called a cuck a number of times online. And it's usually when I talk about, like, feminism or just like, hey, maybe don't rape women. And, you know, very, very basic things like that. Hey, Cucklord's back. Did you drop out because it was taking too long, leave, come back and realize it was still just us? But no, there is no one in this casual encounters thing, Cucklord. It's just us four. Yeah, like, all of those people who... Like, when I talk about something to do with sex, and hey, respecting women is awesome with sex, and consent is awesome with sex, and all, you know, all these basic things. And the amount of times that I get called cucks, I 1000% bet that almost, if not all of the people who call me cucks would be incredibly jealous of the times where I've been tied to a chair to watch my girlfriend have sex with another girl. I 1000% bet that the people who go like, oh, you fucking cuck, and use it as an insult, I bet they would be jealous of that. Because there's no way they're not. There's no way that they are. And I'm not saying that everyone would be jealous of that. There'd be a lot of people who have done that. A lot of people who wouldn't care. But I bet the people who are calling people cucks, the type of, like, people who are sexless enough to think that calling someone a cuck is an insult, I bet those people would be jealous of that. They would never admit it. Not in their goddamn lifetime would they ever admit it once. But I bet if they were in the situation where a girl would go up to them and say, I will let you watch me have sex with this other beautiful girl, they would jump at the opportunity fucking instantly. I bet they would. Now, if we're talking about them watching a girl have sex with another guy, they probably wouldn't, and I'm just saying this because the type of people who use cuck are probably the type of people who are the more sexless losers type of people, and I bet those people, because if they're a sexless loser and they're calling people cuck because they think that's a bad thing, they're probably the type of people who are very typical sexually. So it means they're probably straight dudes who are into who find lesbians attractive, but don't want them to have equal rights or to be respected or anything. They just want to watch them have sex. Give me a game so I can stop talking about this. I'm actively driving away viewers, and no, I'm not. I'm on a similar thing to this, in terms of right-wing people trying to call me out online, I am shocked at how often people will, like, turn around after having, like, left comments on my videos for, like, months in a row, sometimes even years in a row, or, like, on an entire series of videos, and they'll get to one point where it's just like, oh, you're left-wing, or, oh, you're progressive in any way, and they always say it's the same thing. Oh, you're a fucking SJW, or anything like that, and they always seem surprised by it. And I'm just like, and my thought process is always baffled when someone is surprised in any capacity by that, because I don't keep it a secret, and like, a lot of the rants that I have are very, very like, hey, maybe treat people with respect and dignity. King Daffy, that's a cool name, and Nightmare's back. Can we get a game? The Japanese are in their Splatfest, so we're just relying on the Aussies and the Americans at this point. So we need some of you to come around here. Is the UK in their Splatfest too? Or did they have theirs last weekend? Because theirs was warm breakfast versus cold breakfast, and why does Europe keep getting shit Splatfests? Like, I had the whole first game where it was shit Splatfest, and now I'm getting good ones like sci-fi versus fantasy, or invisibility versus flight, instead of warm breakfast versus cold breakfast, or which way do you roll your toilet paper? Why does Europe get the shitty ones? I don't understand. But yeah, I love it when people are shocked that I'm left-wing in these videos at all, because of a lot of my jokes, and a lot of the rants that I have, or the fact that I'm a pansexual, genderqueer, like, polyamorous vegan. Like, I feel like that alone should tell people that, huh, maybe this person has left-wing values. Maybe. This thing spreads so... They updated this to spread even wider. It spreads so wide now. Look at this pathway this thing does. It's so slow. It's so slow. I don't think I've actually used the dynamo in this game, so hey, maybe I will like it. It's just, it's so slow. Fuck. Because it's not even just that you're slow trying to use it, your swim speed is a lot slower, I believe. I can't tell, okay, I can't tell immediately if that's slower or not, but yeah. There we go! So that's the good thing about this, Splatting someone is, like, really good with it. Fuck, someone splat me. But that's the problem that I have with the dynamo, it's just... like, by the time I notice a dynamo is reeling up to fling their ink, I'm not, it's too late for me to try and escape. There! Rah! Paint the field! Yeah! It covers so much! I was hoping my income would kick in just before that, but hey. Trade. A trade that also meant that I didn't get the ink off armor for my team, I believe. Plop! There we go. Booyah! Okay. Like, that's pretty good. I appreciate being able to do that. I appreciate being able to walk in, just like march in and kill people like that. There! Damn it. Oh, I thought I got the brush person and I was safe, but no, I killed someone else completely unrelated to the situation, and then the brush killed me. It's so slow to fling. Ah! Ah! You die! I like... You know, that person is gone. I'm not getting benefits. But... Yeah! It's so huge. It's so huge. Like, it's just walk through the battlefield as this, like, big hulking monstrosity with this. And you feel it as you do it. Like, you feel the weight of it because you're so slow. Jesus, wow. That did not go well for us. Not even slightly. But I got a lot of kills. Oh, we had 2 snipers. Huh. Okay. People are coming. I got more kills than everyone else on my team combined. And specials, too. Huh. Alright. Over to the ink brush Neveu. It's been half an hour and I've had 4 matches. Spent a lot of time dicking around with all the new updates at the start, and I've also gotten long waiting times. I also love how they made the default brush in this game the Octo brush. And like, because it's the one that came with the game, and it's the one that's used in single player. So the Octo brush is clearly the default brush now. Nightmares here. Is there just not many people playing right now? This is worrying if we get to a Splatfest with these people, and there's not enough of us to support. I mean, in my defense, this is probably the earliest in the morning that I've ever played Splatoon. So maybe I'm just at a time where it's a bit more inactive than usual, but damn. I just opened up my phone to check my notifications just because I'm waiting on a message from a friend to see what we're doing today. And I opened up, ooh, I've been super liked on Tinder. Let's open up Tinder and see who's super liked me, guys. Yeah. I didn't realize I still had Tinder. And I knew I still had it installed, but I didn't realize that, like, my profile was still active or anything. It's like, don't use it because no one likes me. Alicia. Are you the one who super liked me or not? I can't tell. How do you tell if someone... Because if someone super likes you, that's what it does immediately. It's just like... If they super like you, then it's just boom, like you immediately match, right? But that was just the face that it popped up with. How do I... Oh, Tinder crashed. Never mind! Damn. I'm not gonna get laid with Alicia now. No! Bye, Alicia. Aw. Aw. Damn. This is what I'm doing in the downtime between waiting on... waiting here for, matches in Splatoon. So it's like, waiting for matches in Splatoon? Let's open up Tinder. Okay, opening up again. Okay, so now Emily's appeared, so I don't... Alicia's just gone forever. Wait. What if I go over to my matches? My whole 6 matches that I've had since I've started using this thing. One of those being a friend from work, who admittedly we did do a little bit, but we matched each other after that. Okay, so based on these matches, there's a star on Camilla, so I think Camilla super likes me, guys. I think, man, she is pretty. And she also super liked me almost a year ago. I think I may have missed the opportunity for that. Why did you just tell me about this now, Tinder? What the fuck? Why did I get this notification? Did you want me to just open the app and use you so you can get money out of it? Do you even get money out of this? I'm not signing up for like the bigger Tinder things, like where you get like more people to find and match with or anything. I'm not signing up for that. So what are you? Whatever. Maybe I'm putting Tinder away now. It can go away. Just give me 2 more people. Not on Tinder, on the game. I just want 2 people to play with. Look, all I'm asking for is Blackbelly Skate Park is open for another 15 minutes. I want 1 match with the ink brush on Blackbelly Skate Park. I loaded up Splatoon with 50 minutes left on this rotation to do Blackbelly Skate Park. It's 15 minutes away and I've had 3 matches. Come on. There's just no one playing. I'm just... Because most of the people that I get in my matches are Japanese players. Like, they're... And it makes sense because of this game, like... I believe this game, like, lobbies are based on ping or something, or, like, location, like, regional matching, which I've, like, the people that I know in the UK fucking hate that, because there's not enough, like, Splatoon players in the UK to, like, keep it going, and UK is not close to any of the other regions to actually, like, match with them. Where at least I'm in Australia, which... We're regions with America for Splatfest, which is weird, and also why it's harder to find matches in Splatfest for us. But I'm really close to Japan, so when I play Splatoon outside of Splatfest, I get matched with a lot of Japanese players, so I get matches pretty damn consistently. There is, like, no one playing. Nightmare has been here so much. How is there this much no one playing? Again, I get it, Japan's in their Splatfest, but... I should try League right now, honestly. All the Japanese players, it's Stiffen's here too. There is just not enough players playing Splatoon right now to form a lobby. The Switch has been massively selling. Splatoon is our highest selling game. A new weapon came out, well, yesterday. And a new Splatfest thing was announced for that, and there's this few players. That is worrying. I think I'm also just playing at an inactive time, and I have no Japanese players to play with. What this more so worries me about and how difficult it is to find a match is when the Splatfest comes around. Like, how hard is it going to be to find matches with Americans when the Splatfest comes around if it's this right now? Like, just one more match before the video ends. At this point, I don't even care if it's Black Belly. I just want to use the ink brush before the end of the video. Oh, man. Who's ready for a 50-minute long video of Splatoon where I get 3 matches in? Yeah. Yeah. So we want to talk about left-wing politics again. Ardern got in New Zealand. Fuck yeah, that's awesome. She's against immigration, which is a bit worrying, but a lot of other things are pretty good. Like, she's supportive of a lot of other things, and she's basically admitted that she is, like, socialist-leaning. She's not full-on socialist. She's not a comrade yet, but she's socialist-leaning, so there's that. Jeremy Corbyn didn't massively lose in the UK. A bunch of trans people got voted in America, and that was fucking awesome. A bunch of them. Danica Rollins, a fucking awesome, like, metal guitarist. Guitarist or vocalist? I think it may even be both. Blade Shark, that's awesome. But hey, Acid Fangs is back from the other one that we couldn't find. And there's Nightmare. Alright, where's Sifin? Purple Rain, I think we saw you before. I've been to Mushroom Mountain once or twice is counting, but nothing compares to this blue and yellow purple rain. No, it doesn't work. It really doesn't work. Can you tell I don't know the lyrics for the actual Purple Rain song? Is it that obvious? Yeah. Alright, it's Black Belly Skate Park again. The game knows that I want to show off this map. The map that was in the first game that I've shown off plenty of times before. Wasn't this one of the starter maps in the first game? Like, didn't it come with the first game? But yeah! Ah! Well, that was short-lived. This thing is very fast compared to the Octo Brush. It is super fast. Blah! Blah! So I think, like, because I loved the Octo Brush so much in the first game, and this game made it clear that, by the way, the Octo Brush is the default one now, because, like, it makes sense that the Octo Brush is the default one. This feels like a way more specialized weapon compared to the Octo Brush. Like, it's incredibly fast, it's incredibly light, like, incredibly low damage. Like, Octo Brush feels way more mid-range for, like, what a default weapon should be compared to... Oh, what the fuck? Compared to this. So it makes sense that the Octo Brush is the default one. And it's also kind of funny that the default weapon for this class is a explicitly Octoling weapon. But yeah, since... I love the Octo Brush so much in the first game. I haven't really used the ink brush much in this game at all. If at all. So this may be the first time I've actually used it. Like, I do like the ink brush. I just don't like it as much as the Octo Brush. The Octo Brush's ability to kill faster for me is more important than the speed that this can move or paint at. As for the Octo Brush, I like playing the assault class of sneaking up on people and just murdering them from behind. Where this, I can't do that as much with this. I mean, I still can. It's just, I have to get... The drop has to be a lot more successful. What was your plan? You were waiting there for a really long time, dude. Come back here! Ah! Wow, with like your last little bit of ink. You don't have ink. What are you doing? Did they super jump out of there? No. I thought I saw them super jump and was like, yeah, you should, because you're in the middle of green ink and you've got none of yours left. Didn't even know what your plan was. But you still killed it, which is fine. Ah! Purple Rain died. You can say that we rained on your parade. How poetic would it have been if Purple Rain was on the purple team instead of pink, and they also had it in Storm? Oh, man. That would have been awesome. That would have been dope, Zebra. I don't know what weapon they have. Oh, for some reason I thought I had the suction bomb, but I didn't. Damn, we were actually winning that and they took it back. Fuck. Oh no, we actually still got that. I guess my little splats towards the back of the pulled back that last 2%. Yay for diving into their base. Yay. Man, I actually didn't cover that much, but I did get 5 kills. Killing more than I'm doing anything else today. I'm okay with this. Murder. Alright, fuck, I'm gonna use this for the rest of the video. I'm not gonna use a single one of my normal weapons in the whole video. Yay, Purple Brain's back! And sooner! I'm saying yay because there's only us playing, so I need as many of you as I can. Alright, we've got 7 minutes. Baby girls, kamikaze, we've got some new people in. Yeah, got 7 minutes before the end of the video, because that's when Black Belly Skate Park's no longer a thing. Do the Mario! You have one of the best names I've ever seen. That's fucking great. But the new one is Let's Do the Odyssey. And then say the word Odyssey like 40 times in a row. Do the Odyssey! It doesn't work as well. One thing I love about that, like, Do the Mario song is you listen to, like, what the dance, quote-unquote, dance moves are for the Mario dance or whatever. And they're, like, incredibly basic. It's like, take a step and then another step. You've done it. And it's just like, what? Oh, also, Purple Rain is, once again, not on the purple team, but they've also got an normal aerospray, which means they have suction bomb launcher, so damn. So, okay, so while I was at PAX, there was, like, Splatoon tournaments there, and one of my friends was actually participating in the Splatoon tournaments, and they were doing really, really well, because they won every tournament that they entered, so they left PAX with 3 Splatoon medals. They were playing with, they're part of, like, actual professional teams in this country, so that makes sense. The team they were playing on was, like, 2 halves of 2 different, like, of the Australian professional teams. So, yeah. But, like, they were, and, like, I've played with them online before, and they're a lot better than I am. But this is the first time that I had been there while they're playing, watching them, and watching all of the professionals, like, play on the same team together. And it's just, like, it seems like a whole fucking different game. Like, the way that they talk about tactics and everything is just like, fuck. Like, most of them know if someone has a weapon, like, what their subs and specials are, so that it's like, be careful, this weapon had, like, this person's about, hey! I pulled it off, so they know what's gonna happen there, and they're able to coordinate, like, where enemies are to, like, go, like, they're coming from this side, they're coming from this side, they're doing this, and I'm just like, what the fuck is happening? I mean, like, I don't... Like, obviously there'd be a lot more discussion about that type of thing if I was playing with people, like, if I was playing with people that I could speak to at all, or instead I play this. So, I've just got to rely on my own things, and, like, I can tell if teammates have an idea of what they're doing based on, like, where they're moving to and everything, but I can't, like, specifically plan with them. And also they were playing, no, I was about to say they were playing ranked, but no, for the Splatoon tournaments at PAX, they were playing Turf, which was interesting. But yeah, oh fuck. Yeah, they were doing that, and it was interesting to watch. It was interesting to watch professional level Splatoon be played, 1, against people who weren't professionals, and 2, being able to hear them all talk to each other. I mean, you can, like, watch the, like, professional Splatoon tournaments online, like the ones that are, like, Nintendo World Championships, or the ones that have been at E3, or things like that, and you can watch those, and, like, get it, and it's like, yeah. But you can't hear them talk to each other, and it's the hearing them talk to each other and playing shit, that's the part that's just like, this seems so different to how I play. I mean, like, overall, I'm glad I don't play Splatoon professionally, because there's a lot about Splatoon professionally that is too focused on the metagame and just, like, too much of it devolves into that same thing that most things that have a competitive side to them devolve into, where it's all, like, all the discussion just becomes about the meta and tier and stuff, and it's just like, ugh. Like, I personally find that frustrating. Like, talking about, like, matchups and counters, I like that kind of stuff. I like talking about matchups and counters. When you start talking about tiers, that's when I'm just like, fuck off. Like, I don't care. Because the idea of matchups and counters is just like, yeah, those things work against each other in that aspect. So if you want to fight this, you do this. If you want to, like, do this, this is what's good against this, is what's bad against this, and how those things interact. And that's fine, and I'm all down for that. When you start talking about tiers, you start talking about, it's just like, no! This weapon's better than other weapons. And then hey, more 8 hours for the final match of the video. Which is like, what? 5? Alright, Purple Rain is on my team at least. Oh no, Purple Rain left. Did Purple Rain leave? Just as we got Purple. God damn it. I did see one person drop out like right at the end. I guess that might have been Purple Rain. Damn it. But yeah, when it gets into that discussion of tiers, so when like the community as a whole is just like, no, this is better, this is worse. And it's just like, regardless of whether it's true or not, which I think in a lot of cases, it's just like Splatoon, I can understand certain weapons straight up being better than other weapons because, like, they balance this game more for the casual audience than the like hardcore audience, because that's way more their selling point for it. They're gonna sell more copies to casual people than the hardcore people. Where a game like, say, Street Fighter V won't, but also Street Fighter V has its things. But like when the online community as a whole is just like, these weapons are better than these weapons, it will devolve into one of two thought processes of either people going, so if you don't use this weapon, so if you don't use one of these like very specific weapons, then you're letting the team down because you're not using like the best weapons, or you'll get the people who go for the other side. So it's like, you're only good because you use the best weapons. Real professionals use the shit weapons because they don't need weapons to carry them because they're good enough. And like, when like, I cannot think of a single competitive community that I've been even tangentially involved in that has tried to classify things as tiers where it hasn't devolved into that. It happened in Smash, it happens in Pokemon, and it's just like, and that's the thing, it's just like, the idea of tiers happens a lot in Nintendo games, and part of me can buy it, because again, they don't balance things for the professionals. They'll try and do some balanced things to help the professionals, but overall, there's like, we prefer the casual audience to have fun over the professionals having a perfect professional environment, which I agree with. That should be how it is. Like, it 1000% should be that way, because the casuals are the people who are going to be playing it more. They're the people overall who will probably have more fun with the game, and they're the people who are going to be selling the copies of the game. Fuck. You'll never take me alive! Or you totally will. Damn it, Blade Shark. And so, like, I understand the idea of tiers existing can kind of make sense in a, in Nintendo games. But specifically dividing things into tiers and then saying this is better, this is worse, just results in, like, people, like, either going, you're letting us down by not using this, or you suck because you use this, and it's just exhausting. Like, I find that shit so tiring. Like, the people at PAX, I don't know whether they do that on their own, but they weren't doing it there. Wait, I was about to say they weren't doing it there, but they half did. There was one team where they annihilated them in the first match, because it was best 2 out of 3. They annihilated him in the first match, so they specifically said, let's use the low tier weapons and see if we can still beat them. And they did, which, because it's skill. Oh, you're kicking us right back out. Oh no, I thought they were going to kick us out to get the Pearl and Marina thing talking here, but no. So yeah, they went in with GooTuber, Flingzarola, and I can't remember what else. But, if there's one thing about tiers that I'll say legitimately interesting, and it's Splatoon often puts out here are the most common weapons for ranked for like this period, and and they have that as a general idea. It's just like what weapons are used too much, what weapons are like winning too much, and will balance or nerf or buff different weapons. And consistently since the game has Medley. I mean, oh, it's Lophus! I have Lophus added, because I played with Lophus ages ago. Played the game Callie as Diva. Wow, that's pretty good. Even though I don't like Overwatch, okay. The actual gameplay of it, fine, whatever. I just fucking hate Blizzard. Grow up to become a strong knight. Is that a reference to all of the nut jokes that are in Steam Gardens in Odyssey? I don't know. What was I saying? I use fantasy because the show color is green reminds me of shiny, dry to gong, Irish spring, deodorant, and money. Okay. Okay. I'm confused now, but okay. Age house on the look. I forgot what I was saying again. Oh yeah, so yeah, they constantly release updates of just like, here are the most and least used weapons. Like they give a list of every weapon. It's just like it was this most used weapon, and I think they do one for League and they do one for Ranked. I don't know how often they come out, but I think it might be like once a week or something. And consistently since the game has come out, the two bottom ones have been GooTuber and Flingzaroller, which I find that hilarious and kind of upsetting. That for charges and rollers, for both of them, they introduce an entirely new mechanic for them. Storing charge and being able to vertically fling ink. So there's brand new mechanics for both of those. Then they introduce two weapons specifically designed around using those two new mechanics. And fucking no one cares about using them. And I find that hilarious and kind of upsetting versus like, oh, the designers like made these mechanics and made weapons around these mechanics and no one cares. And almost every balance patch for this game, they buff both of them, and they're still not being used. That being said, Splash-O-Matic is consistently in the bottom 5, and I fucking love the Splash-O-Matic. And I do best, and I do better with the Splash-O-Matic than any other weapon in the game. So again, tears of bullshit is the moral of the story is tears of bullshit and fuck tears. Point is, well, that was the point I just made, but this occurred to me. Why do I constantly say the point is on the next episode? Like, on the next episode, and then my sign out thing. I intentionally have that as my thing. But I constantly, like, interrupt myself mid-thought process or at the end of a thought and say, point is on the next episode. And it's just like, no, the point of what I was talking about wasn't that there was a next episode. It was about the thing I was actually talking about. There's a weird verbal tick that makes, like, no sense in terms of the actual content. Point is, on the next episode, it'll either be, I was gonna say it might be a single player thing, but it won't. I don't have the time. So the next episode will either be possibly Salmon Run, because we're almost halfway through the month, and I am yet to get the new gear from Salmon Run. So it might be Salmon Run, and if it's not Salmon Run, then it's Sci-Fi versus Fantasy Splatfest. We're going to be rapidly approaching the point where it's going to be one episode to get the shirt, one episode of Splatfest for like the single player parts of it. We're gonna get to that point now, more so because there's not as much point of doing an episode for every. Pardon me. There's not as much of a point for doing an episode every single update. And also, the way that I did this, I kind of like the idea of just like, here's multiple updates of like a map and multiple weapons, and there's the new shirt. So it's just like, here's one video with all of those updates together at once. Because like at this point with the game, like I don't play it as much because I just have other games and I've put a lot of hours into this already. The community, like there's not as many people playing this. It's not as much in like the limelight because other games have come out. I don't need to do an episode of this every week. So I might do that from now on, where when the shirt comes out, do a video of like all of the updates since last Splatfest with the new shirt. And then obviously I'll do some in-between episodes of those two things over there, which I swear I'll get to at some point. Possibly. Maybe. I don't know. Next episode, probably Splatfest. Maybe Salmon Run. Depends on what the Salmon Run rotations are. If there's a random weapon, fuck yeah. If there's a good set, fuck yeah. But other than that, maybe not. So, until then, this is version 2, signing out.